Welcome to Step Back in Time. Welcome to Step Back in Time, and today we're exploring the history of Corbiac Monastery located in France, and we're very excited and privileged to have made contact on our fabulous Historiovision with a brother Sebastian, a member of the Trinitarian Holy Order who lived there in the 16th century. Brother Sebastian, welcome to the program. Brother Sebastian, can you hear me? Well, I'm sorry, viewers. We appear to be having a bit of a technical problem. It's not always easy trying to get contact during certain centuries.
Bonjour, I can hear you now.
Ah, excellent. Welcome, Brother Sebastian.
Hello, I'm not completely au fait with future technology because it has not happened for me yet.
Quite. So happy you're able to join us, Brother Sebastian.
Pleasure.
Now, you were around at a pivotal time in the history of Corbiac. First of all, can you tell us a bit about the location?
Well, Prière Santa Maria de Corbiac is located in what in my time was a frontier zone between the Kingdom of France to the north and that of Aragon to the south. There was much conflict and insecurity in the area, and it was attacked by the Huguenot Protestants towards the end of the 16th century. So in your time it is referred to as being in the foothills of the French-Catalan Pyrenees.
Geographically, it's quite exposed there. How did you deal with that?
Well, we did our best to keep warm in the winter, which could be very harsh. It snowed almost every winter, and the winds of the Tramontane would blow all around us, enough to drive people mad, and it did, of course.
Now, Brother Sebastian, you have popped back over the centuries to see how things were progressing. Can you tell us your perspective on the last few centuries?
The chapel was built around 1290. We do not know for sure who the builders were. There was once a brotherhood of Servite priests, an Italian order devoted to the sorrow of Virgin Mary. We think that they may have built the original monks' accommodation in the 15th century. The cemetery outside was used for the burial of local inhabitants.
And what about the frescoes in the chapel?
Oh, that was a great time. We were so happy to have some color to brighten up the walls in the chapel. It took a long time to do because several people helped, but the results were beautiful, so vibrant.
Now, backtracking slightly, how did your order, the Trinitarians, come to be at Corbiac?
Well, in the late 16th century, the Baron of Mosset, Don Gerard de Croils de Santa Pau, invited my Trinitarian order to rebuild and extend what is now in your time a ruined building, and found a monastery. In around 1549, he had already built a mausoleum for himself and his descendants to the side of the chapel altar. It was possibly moved into the side chapel itself. The tomb was later entirely destroyed after the Revolution.
And then what happened?
Well, it is documented that on the 28th of June 1575, he, backed by his mother, Donna Luisa Croil y de Cabrera, gave the chapel and all its assets and land to our order, vested in Jerome Garcia, Bishop of Aragon. Our first abbot was Pierre Oriola. A man named Gilles Donzel, along with some others, kindly gave donations in March 1576 for the reconstruction. Also between that time and 1580, Certain fortifications were added to the monastery buildings as protection against the threat of attacks by the Huguenots.
Very interesting. How did you all afford to live?
Well, our financial position was always very precarious. We had various loans and people kindly made gifts to us, but we were often under threat. It was not always a safe place to be, even for a religious person. There was never more than 9 of my brethren in residence at any one time. In 1595, our order moved to Perpignan to establish a monastery in more secure surroundings, and so we felt less vulnerable. Corbiac was empty between 1595 and 1598. We returned for a short while in the very early years of the 17th century, but sadly we had to abandon the building in 1605.
But you weren't the last religious order to stay at Corbiac, were you?
No, in 1610, Augustinian monks led by François Delade arrived at Corbiac. They resided there until the Revolution. During that time, there were 4 monks living at Corbiac, we believe.
So fast forward to 1791. Its use was changed completely, wasn't it? Tell us about that.
Oh yes, tell me about it. Well, the Chapelle monastery became a bien national, basically a property of the state, and they were sold to a man in Mosset for 26,300 livres. In 1820, it was sold again to the Ruffiandis family, who remained owners until the Second World War, converting the buildings into a farm. Jacques Goderique Ruffiandis, who lived from 1823 to 1891, was twice Marie de Mosset, and the family, particularly his grandson Jacques-Joseph Ruffiandis, who lived from 1887 to 1956, did much to chronicle the history of the buildings. However, as farmers, they were not appreciative of the beauty of Corbiac. To them, it was just a functional building. Such peasants. I know that may sound unspiritual, but what they did to the chapel was just outrageous. If I had been alive, I would certainly have given them a piece of my brain.
Mind. The term is piece of my mind.
Brain, mind, whatever. In my space-time frame, we haven't worked out the difference yet. Anyway, when they put those beams of wood through the walls and damaged some of the beautiful frescoes, that broke my heart. I have spoken also to some of the spirits of the other monks in my order, and they felt the same way. The same with the old original doors. They would just bombard through with their wheeled machinery. It does not bear thinking about. However, in 1823, those owners gave the statue of the Virgin Mary and Child, which is a 13th century wooden carving, to the church in Mosset, and you can still see it in your century today. Various legends surround the statue. The most well-known recounts how it was found in the branches of a fig tree on the same site by 2 shepherds in the 8th century. Its presence was indicated to them by a crow pecking at it. Hence the word for crow is corbeau, how Corbiac came to have its name.
Now coming closer to the present time.
My present time or your present time?
My present time. What do you think of that time, the 20th and 21st centuries?
From World War II until the 1970s, various people owned Corbiac and carried out certain alterations. This was good in some ways. The fact that they were inhabited meant Corbiac would not become a ruin. But in the 1960s and 70s, some very unsympathetic renovation work was carried out, and a good deal of cement was used, and this has not helped the stonework at all.
That's a shame. But things have improved over time, haven't they? with more appreciative owners rescuing it.
Yes, well, I thought it was a blessing when the writers Rosemary Bailey and Barry Miles started to look after Corbiac. When they bought it in 1989, they really started to get things moving. They had the foresight to start the rescue of my old home, which was lovely. They really did their best with the resources they had. And so much creativity flowed from them. Our Trinitarian brother Juan, who was our scribe, would be very pleased that so many words flowed from within the walls of Corbiac.
And of course, on the 21st of December 2006, Corbiac changed hands once again. What do you think of the new people, Greg and Rob, taken over from Rosemary and Miles?
Ah, well, what they have done with the chapel roof is wonderful. Like Rosemary and Miles, they too are blessed with creativity and vision. To take Corbiac forward and give it a new lease of life is wonderful. At least in my day, we could do things to the buildings as we wanted to. They unfortunately have to deal with the bureaucratic nightmare. On the 24th of May, the year 2000, the building was listed as a monument historique. This was retrospectively not a wise decision. It has almost held developments back. I think it's outrageous that these bureaucrats think that they are on a par with God and that they have far too much power. Do these people not realize that Greg and Rob are trying to preserve something of great historical importance? And we pray that they will be given grants to restore the beautiful frescoes that are quite unique in France.
So, does this mean you'll be coming back more often to see what progress has been made?
Oh, most certainly, brother. Corbiac has a new lease of life, and I shall not rest until it's completed.
Brother Sebastian, thank you so much for coming on the programme today. We hope to invite you back at some stage in the future.
Oh, a few hundred years from where I am.
I have to say, Brother Sebastian, there is something vaguely familiar about you. Perhaps I too was a monk in a previous life.
Perhaps. You are the weakest monk. Goodbye.
That's all from Step Back in Time for this week. Until next time, goodbye.